Welcome to Snowman's Favorites, where we showcase builds that are basically my favorite builds in Legends mod and can also work with other mods attached. Welcome to the Reach Flail. The Reach Flail is a favorite of mine because we discovered it in Season 7 and we really enjoyed how it played out. The pros to this build are there are two main build options that you can play with. It's very easy and cheap to build. There are definitely ways to enhance the build, so it's very versatile. The Reach keeps you safe in fights. There's 4 action points per attack. It allows you to attack twice per turn, keeping that accuracy good. You never run out of fatigue with this build, so it's fatigue neutral. You can use any armor you want. Very, very free. And you get some beautiful headshots. The freedom with this build is quite a very big standpoint, and I enjoy the damage that it outputs as well. Unfortunately, though, there are some cons that come with it because no build is perfect. There are a few that include you cannot be a frontliner with this build. It's purely just for damage and staying safe in the backlines. Don't expect this guy to take many hits. It's not fully glass cannon, but you do struggle with arrows because you're not holding a shield, obviously. And finally, it's mediocre versus non-humans. You can still do well, but this build is mainly for dealing with human-based enemies. Now, let's jump into the base build. This is our first build for today, and the most easiest to build. The stats that we really need are just 85 plus melee attack and 60 plus health. Nothing super hard to get on most brothers, so it should be easy to build with most brothers in the game. For the third stat that you'll be grabbing, there is a suggestion to grab either extra fatigue, even though it's mainly fatigue neutral. It still does help to get extra fatigue, or if you feel like arrows are a problem, range defense is not a bad choice as well. Let's move on to the perks. So for the base build, surprisingly, we only just need 2 perks for this to actually kick itself off, and that is Flail Mastery and Rebound. These perks are absolutely amazing and construct the build completely. On top of that, you can get yourself some extra perks that immensely help the build, but if you just have Flail Mastery and Rebound, you're already off to a swinging start, and already will be fatigue neutral no matter what you do. Things like Headhunter and Hair Splitter allow you to get those guaranteed headshots and more accurate headshots as well, so definitely a lovely pickup, as Headhunter is a lot easier to find, Hair Splitter is harder, that's fine. Killing Frenzy and damage buffs, as always with most builds, you're going to be able to enjoy the quicker kills through the damage that you're doing. And as usual, some perks like Gifted and Fast Adaptation. Accuracy is always nice to have as well, but see what you can grab. These are just suggestions and definitely helpful ones indeed. Now let's move on to the result of the build. What's going to happen is you're going to be able to do 2 flail attacks per turn at 10 fatigue, which means you are not having any fatigue lost as long as you have rebound, meaning fatigue neutral attacks are always great to have. Now, on top of this, we are going for some lash, allowing us to get alternating consistent headshots if we grab ourselves Headhunter for the build. If we don't, then we can always get the we can always get the headshots whenever we need to for a little bit costly fatigue, but we can still do it once a turn if we have stammed out, which is not fully fatigue neutral, but it still allows us to get a nice headhunt in there. Now, with all flail builds, you are going to be able to ignore the bonuses to melee defense granted by shields, allowing you to ignore shields 24/7 for easy damage, extra injuries, and free armor, because who doesn't want free armor? We're also going to now show some beautiful clips of how this build performs in a siege battle, so we'll get to that and show it off. Brandwag, let's destroy this guy's helmet. That was a bit of a low roll, sadly. I would most likely go for this guy's helmet because of that. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, Brandwag, let's go for the headshot into the guaranteed headshot. Beautiful. That's 100 head armor that we can just burrow through. I don't want to go anywhere near that Hedge Knight with Brandwag, so I want to go for people without heads, and this mercenary looks like he could miss out on a head. And go from instantly happiness to fleeing. And a severe concussion. So you just guaranteed an insta-kill, Brandwag. Nicely done. There's the headshots we wanted before. Now, moving on to build 2. This is the more advanced build if you do have the perks and stats available. I highly recommend upgrading your base build to the Mind Over Body Fear build. As you can see here, we do have a famed item, and brute on this brother, but you don't need those are just bonuses. Now, to start off this build, we need 3 main stats. You cannot deviate from these, mainly because you want high amounts of attack, high amounts of health for survival, obviously, and high amounts of resolve. Now, this resolve is going to greatly assist us with our mind over body, but also allow us to use fearsome strongly. Now, jumping into the perks, you can already know what we're going to be using by the name of the build. We are obviously going to be using the 3 main perks of Flail Mastery, Fearsome, and Mind Over Body. Now, you notice here we're not using Rebound, and that is because our fatigue is no longer an issue, and we don't need Rebound. Mind Over Body covers that, and Fearsome is a beautiful perk that we can capitalize on our high resolve to start dishing out some more, mental damage. And as always, even this strong build uses only 3 perks, but we have some great suggestions, as usual, to capitalize and make this build even stronger. Now, as usual, Headhunter and Hair Splitter, getting those consistent headshots can be very valuable. We didn't grab it on this brother for this run, but I can recommend it strongly if you do get it. Killing Frenzy and any damage buffs alongside will be definitely appreciated. Gifted and Fast Adaptation for your extra accuracy definitely can help. Things like Backstabber, which we grabbed on this build as well, is so nice to have. And finally, a new one to add to the build is Fortified Mind. Just stacking more and more resolve will see a nice increase in the effectiveness in this build, so don't count that one out anytime soon. For the results of this build, we have the same idea as before. We're attacking twice a turn. No fatigue loss even without rebound. As you can see here, each attack uses 6 fatigue. And that's with a pretty decent amount of resolve. But even if you don't get to the crazy high resolves that we got with this brother, you can still do well. Now, we are alternating cheaper lash attacks with Headhunter if we do grab it. And even if we don't, we're still hitting for 12 fatigue on lashes. As usual, getting those consistent headshots will be very helpful. If you can alternate, the better. We didn't get it on this build, but it can definitely be even better than the base build. As usual, we are ignoring shields 24/7 for that easy damage, injuries, and free armor, and who doesn't like that? But finally, what tops this build off to perfection is we're attacking twice to proc morale checks with Fearsome. And because how easily flails ignore armor, this is a cinch. And in this next clip, or bunch of clips, you're going to notice how amazing this build just dominates in a siege fight. Enjoy. Let's go for... Yikes, he has a lot of armor. Let's go for the helmet. Do we not have Headhunter? We don't have Headhunter. Okay, then I'll just keep going for the helmet. Okay, so where do we have the most damage? Solaris can totally destroy this footman if he gets a hit. So we focus this one. Yeah, that works. The first fearsome hit instantly makes him flee from happiness to complete white flag. Oh, fearsome's too good. Okay, let's go here. Let's get the headshot into the headshot. Beautiful. That was good. Sadly, it didn't kill. Nisman, can we get rid of this guy's beautiful head? So close. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed our first Snowman Favorites build showcase. And I hope you guys start using the Reach Flail more and enjoy it because of how easy it is to make and how dominating it is on the battlefield. Thanks for watching, and I hope you will see you in the next one. Catches.